is big on monologuing, interrupting, tangenting, following every impulse that seems to surface. And there are some people with ADHD that believe that this is given. This is just how we roll. There's nothing we can do about it. And other people need to learn to deal with it. That's not entirely so. Impulsivity is an issue if you don't have mitigating it, for stepping in there and moderating it somehow. And I'm not telling you this is easy. I'm just telling you it's doable. And it has a lot to do with what kind of results you want. I happen to want to have I want people to feel safe with me. I want to have those back and forth reciprocal relationships that really make life more rich. And one of the ways to make sure that your relationships are like that, besides having a barking dog in the background, is to make sure that the needs of the person you're talking to are met as well. That is critical. And one of the ways you do that is by becoming a better listener. Well, it's hard to be a good listener when you're monologuing a lot, which is something I still struggle with from time to time, but nowhere near what it used to be like. Or if you're constantly interrupting, again, something else. Until about 6 months ago, I still had some difficulty reining in, but now I'm so much better at it. And let me tell you how I've learned to do this, okay? One thing that some people are able to articulate about their impulses, and others aren't even aware of it, is that there seems to be this ball of energy, like this huge urge or pressure to do something, to either talk or to take action. And it's this pressure, this craving to act that a lot of people with ADHD are responding to relieve that pressure. Well, relieving the pressure through blurting things out or telling everything that's on your mind, that's one way to do it. You can also learn to simply work through that pressure instead of expressing it every single time. And let me tell you how you practice this. You can say to somebody else who's working with you on this that, hey, I really want to work on not acting upon my impulses. Can you help me with that? And this is how you're going to do it. The other person is going to talk about whatever they want to. And every time an urge comes up, the first thing you need to do is zero in on where you feel it in your body. Do you feel the tension in your jaw because you really want to say something? Do you feel some fluttering in your stomach, some nervousness, some tightness in your chest? Do you feel tension in the back of your neck? Where's it showing up for you? And then just be present with that feeling. Just observe it and say, okay, that's kind of where the tension is. Okay, what can I do with that tension? Can I relax that part of my body? Can I breathe into it? Pretend like I'm breathing air and oxygen into my neck or into my jaw, where I can just flush it out, calm it down, watch its temporariness just kind of disappear. Because if you can learn to work very mindfully with a lot of self-awareness and self-care, some self-compassion around this tension, this urge, and just kind of help it dissipate so that it doesn't have to be acted upon. You can learn to interfere with that tendency to be impulsive. And because you're being so much more aware in the moment, one of the consequences of that is you become much more present, not only with how you're feeling, but where the other person's at as well. Now, you may be thinking, well, but if I'm doing all of this internal monitoring, I'm not really listening to the other person. Right. Because this is an exercise with the other person to help you facilitate the internal work until you're at the point where you now have a habit of just breathing through the impulse. And you don't have to think about it as much. Make sense? Because whenever you develop any kind of a habit, after a while it becomes pretty automatic. So for me, there are plenty of times where my wife is talking and I want to share a thought or it reminds me of something and my brain goes off in a tangent. Because I'm so aware now of the fact that my brain does that, I catch myself doing it much more quickly. So I'm able to just say, okay, that impulse is there, that feeling is there. I don't need to act upon it. I can just breathe through it until it goes away, and I will re-engage listening to my wife. Because let's face it, we have ADHD. We're not going to be able to listen to what a person is telling us from start to finish, every word without missing a beat. Our brain is distractible. That's the fact. How long you stay distracted and how quickly you can bring yourself back, that is the key. That's what you're working on, is bringing yourself back faster every single time there's an impulse or your mind wanders off, so that you're able to capture as much of what the person is telling you as possible. And the things you miss, there are strategies for getting the other person to help you fill in those gaps. And I've explained those strategies in other videos. But for now, I want you to focus on this exercise and implementing it. Now, as I've told you over videos, I have a membership program where I take each member by the hand to make sure that they implement these strategies as precisely as possible so you get the result I'm promising you. You could try and do this on your own, and chances are you'll get frustrated because of how much you are likely to self-sabotage in the process of breaking the old habit and starting a new one. So if you really want to be able to implement this successfully, then hit me up. We'll get you into the program so you can do this and other strategies correctly. In the meantime, I hope this has been helpful for you. Feel free to leave comments or ask me any questions that you have. Until we talk again, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.